Well, now that it's fall, many are looking to get pumpkins to carve up this Halloween. However, the weather might have had an impact on this year's harvest.
Alyssa Hefner spoke with an Eastern Carolina farmer and is live now with more. Alyssa?
Courtney, Dave, from a drought to a tropical storm, farmers haven't had an easy task when picking pumpkins this fall to sell. However, they did manage to get some to sell here, but that wasn't without a challenge. A moderate to severe drought in some places of eastern North Carolina, followed by a large amount of rain with Tropical Storm Debbie, had farmers facing abnormal weather. Jamie Porter, who owns Porter Farms with her family in Snow Hill, said it wasn't the drought that affected her crops as much as they have irrigation systems, but the rain did make a little bit more of an impact, even though their crops were on a slope.
We did have to replant some of our pumpkins and crops. We had to do a lot of refertilizing, but right now our crops are thriving. They're looking great, and I think it's going to be a good year.
Porter even mentioned that some of her returning customers were happy they were back selling their plants as they feared their weather would prevent them from selling again this year. In fact, Porter told me that she says they hope to have more pumpkins to sell next week as some are already popping up once again. Reporting live in Pitt County, Alyssa Hefner, WITN News.
All right, thanks, Alyssa. And while Porter and her family did overcome the weather challenges, she did say that they had to raise some of the prices this year.